Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Lenette Looks, and I am so happy to have you here. And we are going to get into more Crazy Rich Asians, and drum roll, I finished last night. So I really enjoyed it. I gave it 3 stars on Goodreads. I would have given it 3.5, but that's not an option. I don't think so. But I really enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. Could I say I loved it? I liked it a lot. I really enjoyed it. So it got 3 stars from me. Actually, I didn't want it to end because I wanted to continue. I wanted to keep being in that story with Rachel and Nick. I wanted to continue. I wanted to keep moving in their world. I know sometimes like the happy part is you finish the book, and then the sad part is you don't really want the story to end. And the story, I don't believe it ends with this book. The story does continue. He has 2 other books out, and like I said in the beginning, if I really enjoyed this one, I am definitely going to read the next one, and that's definitely the case. I enjoyed it. I didn't want it to end. I do want to read the continuation of their love story, because essentially, out of all the drama, out of all the crazy things that went on, it's stripped everything away. It's just a true, honest love story. And I've been battling whether I'm gonna go into the end, and whether I discuss the end or not, and I decided I'm not going to do that. I don't want to spoil anything if you are going to read the book, and I'm looking forward to reading the second book, knowing more and getting more. And I think he does I definitely know he delves into more of Rachel and Nick's story and what happens next. And I was quite surprised that the end was different than in the movie. The ending was different, so I can definitely say that. I feel comfortable saying that about the end. Was I happy about the ending? Yes, I did like this ending, and as I said, I wanted more. So with that said, I will be reading the next one. There's another storyline that I never spoke of, and it's about Nick's cousin Astrid, who is described as this beautiful, rich Asian woman who she has it all. You know, she's like, the way he describes it, you know, she has the life, you know, the life that other women, other people outside of the family admire. She's very popular in Singapore, and she's just like this amazing woman, you know. She's worth like $1 billion, you know, her fortune there, and with her family and everything. And they own a lot of hotels, they own a lot of real estate, and they're worth billions. So you can imagine, like, she has so much fashion sense. He describes her as like a fashionable woman. But at the same time, she's very down to earth, and she's a very likable character. She is so loving. She's one of the relatives of Nick's that knew Rachel prior to her going to Singapore, and she was so accepting, so not like the other relatives or the other girls, the other women that met Rachel with judging eyes. She is just like a girl's girl, and she's married and she has a little boy. And you think she has like everything, but she is going through a lot with her husband, who is a very insecure man being with her. And I thought that was quite interesting. It was like, wow, this powerful, beautiful woman that is with a man who is very insecure. And he wasn't always insecure. He became that way because he didn't realize. It's one thing living the life after, it was one thing dating her, and then it was another, he felt another way. He had another feeling once he got in the marriage and got to know her relatives and got to be in that lifestyle, because he's not from wealth, he's not from money. He's kind of like Rachel, you would say average guy within their realm. He's a normal average guy. He's not part of the elite million or billionaires. So, but Astrid wasn't even looking to him or looking at that, just like her cousin Nick. They're kind of like similar in that sense, where they weren't looking for any type of wealth or anybody that had that. They just fell in love with who they fell in love with, and so be it. The family, they knew that the repercussions of having someone that the family not approve of would be high. So he doesn't go into the background of their relationship and her explaining anything to him or what he's potentially going to be facing, but he knew her lifestyle prior to them getting married. So what he's encountering is the fact that he is very insecure being around her family, because her family judges him for not being as wealthy as they are, and for not, similar to Rachel's, for not being in that type of millionaire, billionaire status, or having a generational wealth, or a family that are rich and wealthy and can continue that sort of generational wealth and combine with their family. So since he's not of that, he always felt judged. He's always feeling like insecure around them. He still wanted to keep his job. I forget what he does. I think he's in the tech field, and he definitely does not make anywhere near what Astrid is worth. She's a billionaire. She could afford anything. And it's really interesting because the same way he's feeling insecure, she's feeling insecure about her purchases and living the life she normally would live comfortably, like coming home with bags of Italian shoes worth thousands and thousands of dollars, or dresses worth tons of money. And what she does is she hides it so he wouldn't feel bad. So that's what she's going through in her marriage, the insecurities, and it falls on both of their shoulders, and they're not really communicating that well about it. So I would like to see more on their story, and he really does delve into their story, and it does get very interesting, and it does get very shaky, and she finds out some things about him that she was very shocked, and their marriage is like on shaky ground. I don't know if the other books delve into her story more than what he's already spoke of in this book, but I'm gonna look into it, and I will see if that's the case, because I found their story interesting, and I would like to know more about Astrid and her husband, and I believe his name is Michael. And unlike the movie really depicted him as this guy who really didn't this insecure guy. He really didn't care about her feelings. He was like, whatever. He didn't really open up to her and discuss things at all about what he was feeling. They have a little boy together, and he just kind of like is doing things under the cover, you know, and she finds out. And it makes him a very unlikable character in my eyes. But in the book, I really had empathy towards him, because in the book he delves into a lot more, and Michael does sit down and explain to Astrid all of the things that he had been feeling and he had been going through, and the fact that he really, you know, loves her, but there's so many other things that he feels like he can't live with being in her family. So I felt that was really interesting, because money, you think money can buy anything. Well, I don't think that, but you know, some people think, oh, money can solve all the problems, and you know, what is he complaining about? She's like a billionaire. Why don't he go to the stores with her and spend some money too? But he is not he's not any of those things. He's not thinking about any of those things. He's just thinking of how it's all like comparison, like how he can never measure up. That's the word, that's the phrase. He can never measure up to the standards, he says, the standards of living that they have. Matter of fact, he has them living in a much smaller place within one of the hotels that her and her family own, and it's a lot cheaper. It's one of the more cheaper estates, and the reason why they live there is because he wanted to be able to afford, he wanted to pay bills, he wanted to be like the man of the house and be able to afford something that they could live in, and him not like living off of her trust, her money, her wealth. And that's what he chose, and she agreed to that, and it was all to make him like feel better about himself, I guess, you know, to feel like he can measure up, he can also afford to do things. But my thing is like, you married her, you knew how much you were making and how much she's worth, so it's like she's willing to share it with you, you know, why not just do, you know, go with the flow, because the fact that she's a billionaire and you like earn an average living, I'm sure something could be exchanged where he can probably work for the family and stuff, but that wasn't depicted in the storyline. So he refused to have any help from her dad, who wanted to pay for their first house or first home, and he was not having any of it, and he just wanted to buy it himself and do it on his own. So he had that type of mentality. So then later on they get into these problems, because it was a problem in the beginning of their marriage, so it just escalates and gets worse. So that's definitely a storyline that I'd like to delve into more, if he has written more about their relationship. And I would think if he's continuing on the second book on Rachel and Nick's marriage, I would think that he also is going to include the other stories, because they're all a part of that family. So the story can definitely continue. So I'm so excited to get started on my next book, which I told you on the last one, it is Pride and Prejudice. And I'm happy to dive into this now, and it's gonna be a nice new adventure. And I do plan on continuing the Crazy Rich Asian story. I don't know if I'm going to read it after this, but I think I want to delve into something new, something different storylines, different plots. So after this one, I might just go with something else, but we will see. And yeah, so I'm very happy that I finished, and I'll be on to my second book on this channel. If you're new to this channel, my name is Lenette, and I talk about the books that I'm reading. So I'm glad if you are still here with me, you are tuning in, and I greatly appreciate it. If you have stood this long and watched from the beginning up till now, thank you. And write in the comments if you are reading a book and what the title is. I'd love to know. And are you enjoying it or not? Would you recommend it? Because I'm always looking for other books to read. Fantasy, sci-fi, romantic comedies, romance, drama. I'm not into horror. I'm not into horror. Definitely not. But anything along that realm, I am definitely into, and I'm always scanning and looking for books either at the bookstore or on Goodreads and seeing what's popular, what has been read that, you know, got raving reviews, and I would love to also read those type of books. So thanks again for watching. Another storyline that I really was very like kind of not shocked, but it made me almost cry. I was like tearing up, which was her mom, Carrie's story. He really goes into a lot more of her background and her story, and it is something. I was like kind of like tearing up. So, and it made me love her character and have empathy towards her and her decisions on how she raised Rachel as a single mom and why she did that, why she had to run away from China and have a totally new life in America and totally like erase her past practically. So that story and how she told it and how she expressed it to Rachel was very interesting. So that's another storyline that I thought was captivating and kind of a tearjerker a little bit, you know. And I was he added more to her character. He put more of a background to her, and you get to learn why, you know, why she did what she did. And Rachel got to learn all of that because she didn't know. So anyway, guys, that's my take on Crazy Rich Asians. I really liked it. I enjoyed it, and I want to read more. I want to continue this reading about Rachel and Nick's love story. I love love stories, don't you? And it's just a feel-good type of thing, and I love when a story gets told and there's so many barriers and there's so many challenges, and you're like kind of like rooting for them to be together. And I was rooting for Rachel and Nick to be together. So who knows what happens next? He definitely left it open. I don't want to say the ending, but I'm looking forward to to book 2. So guys, I appreciate you watching and staying this long again. And thank you for watching Lenette Looks. I make videos every Sunday, and I hope you stay tuned on the next one. So until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.